Oh, hello. So, I'm back on my Iron Man, as you can see. Um, got this bitch in the corner while I just do whatever else on the other screen. I decided what I'm gonna do is grind up graceful so that I'll have have graceful, but two, oh shit, hit the werewolf. But I'll have a high enough agility level that I can go into the agility pyramid and not want to pull my hair out because I'm failing obstacles constantly. I want to do that to get money to be able to get just random gear and shit. Ferminic helmets, get the rune stuff, all those goodies. And then after I do that, I'm gonna do Slayer. Get this to 48, I think, to do Nagwas. I think that's how you say them. Nagwa. Nagwas and Farlamore. And then be able to do some nice combat training. I think Tuesday or Wednesday, that's when the Marlamore update comes out that has the AFK crab. I don't know. It seems like you're going to be able to mine it when it leaves, and that might give you gems. I'm not sure what it's going to give, but that'd actually be pretty pog. I don't know if obviously it's going to be mostly for AFKing. So it's probably not going to be better than Nogwa's, but it'll probably be pretty fun. My cat is currently playing with the mic. But yeah, I don't know when the last time I streamed was. Hey, 53, let's go. But, yeah, it's been a minute. So really, I just wanted something to do while I did agility. I'm gonna be honest. I'm about halfway to graceful. I think graceful is what, it's like 240 or 260, right? Let's see. It is 260. So we're about 16 away from halfway. But we're getting there. Okay, so I figure, let's just find some shit to watch while I play in the background. So, another thing I've been doing is I got Guilty Gear. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to play Guilty Gear. I also want to play some more Street Fighter 6, but I want to play Guilty Gear first. I ended up deciding to try a hitbox controller. I think I got the Hot 40, what is it called? Hot 41, the 12 button one, because I don't want more buttons than I need. And I don't need more than 12 for Street Fighter. And Guilty Gear has less buttons than Street Fighter, so I mean it's like one less button, but I mean I guess technically it has. If you include the dash macro as a button, then I guess it has the same amount, or more if you make a button for Roman cancel. But technically, both of those you don't have to have a button for. So I don't know. I don't know what people would decide on that. But Iron Man's going good, and so I've been kind of focusing on that. I've been researching the Guilty Gear stuff, but I haven't really sat down and started sending matches. So yeah, the ultimate goal right now is to get graceful out of the way, get some money with the pyramid, and then hit up rune stores, get the Fremennik helmets, and then probably do some Scurrius to get to where I can use the things the Nugwas drop, glacial whatever, and then yeah, because I'd say I don't know. Scurrius is probably more XP than if you have the rat weapons. Probably more XP than Nogwas, right? I don't know. What do Nogwas drop? I actually don't know. I've never killed them before. Well, outside of the quest. If you even killed them in the quest. Is that how you spell it? So for Nogwa. What did it drop? So, runes. Pretty good. Chaos and Death rune drops. Some ore that doesn't really matter. Noted coal, though. That's kind of... Is that helpful? I don't know. I don't play Iron Man much. Let's see. The rare table. Okay, so, I mean, I have okay drops. I mean, better than crabs, right? Someone has to create moonlight potions. Alternatively, players with 75 hunter may choose to catch moonlight moths with a butterfly net. Yeah, I don't know about that. I got 33 hunter. Oh shit, I didn't realize my birdhouses were done. It used to notify me when those were done. I don't know why they're not. Timers and buffs. Time tracking. Timer notification. Do I have notify when whatever? Send notifications when focused, yeah. It's weird because it was working, but it hasn't worked for like 3 hours now. I don't know if maybe... Nope. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, and it is working. I just don't hear it. That's possible. So yeah, we got 33. So one more level, we can do teak birdhouses. We'll probably level up this run, but we'll just do all willow to make it easy. And then I'll actually have to make me a bunch of dig site pendants after this, because this is my last one. I got plenty of rubies. I just need to get some more gold, which I can't smith yet, so I need some smithing levels. So yeah, 101 things I can do, but I'm trying to keep it focused somewhat. I think we level up on the next birdhouse. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, birdhouse runs, but I'm definitely probably going to not do them, like, forever. I'm just kind of doing them while I'm doing these other long-form tasks, because it's pretty quick to go between them. If I do something that's not as easy to get back to, probably wouldn't do them. And once I get, what is it, 42 hunter for hunting contracts, I'd probably just do those rather than birdhouses, but we'll see. Yeah, pretty unlucky on the bird nests there. Didn't quite get much of anything. It's 115 tokens. I don't know how long we've been at Canifus. Honestly, it doesn't feel like that long, but I mean, it's been several hours. I think at the end of the Canifus run, I'll probably be around like 55, 56 agility, which should be pretty tolerable for the agility pyramid. Yeah, I haven't done any of the Varlamore quests either. So I'll have to knock those out. I don't remember them being very difficult, so... I mean, some of them I'm not going to have the stats for, probably, but the introductory ones should be pretty fine. Alright. Ooh, look at that. Let's go and find us some shit to watch. Do we actually want equality? By economics explained? I mean... We probably want equity, at least. But, and obviously morally we want equity. But is that the most efficient thing? I don't know. So the question is, do we want the most moral thing or the most efficient thing? And is it maybe something between? That's my guess on how that video goes. Wait. Am I going to react to a React video? Ubisoft claims microtransactions help players experience more fun. Okay, before even watching, I'm going to watch it. Before going into it, I can kind of see where you could be coming from with that, right? Because conceivably, a microtransaction for a game should be some extra content that you can pay for on top of the base game to allow you to either have more game to play, which does let you experience more fun, or to allow you to customize the game in some way that lets you experience more fun. So I can see that. But I think it's a far stretch to say that they are not predatory, right? Like, overpriced. I think that can be true at the same time. And you can also say that microtransactions encourage them to not put everything they could in the base game so that they can monetize it later. And so is it really extra fun when it could have been there all along? So in reality, you just make the base game less fun so that they pay for the more fun? So let's see.
With the amount of tomatoes I've thrown at Ubisoft over the last couple of years, I could run Heinz out of business. It is incredibly easy to hate this company, and they make it clear that they deserve it. They are not shy about telling you how much they hate you. They've become infamous Ubisoft for the "you will own nothing and be happy" mentality. They have even point blank said that gamers need to be comfortable not owning their games.
Wait, I think I remember this. They need to get comfortable not owning the games oh, well, that provides context. They need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscriptions to take off. Right. I mean, that's just factual, right? Will need to get comfortable not owning their games before video game subscriptions truly take off. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that. Because, I mean, yes, it would be a pretty shit statement if it was just saying, hey, you need to get comfortable not owning your games. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, for subscriptions to take off, first people would have to be comfortable to not own their games. So, yeah, I don't think that's really a bad statement.
This is a company that every step of the way chooses all of the wrong options during the QuickTime events. They are not even accidentally saying things that anyone could appreciate, even the most diehard Ubisoft Formula fans, if such a creature even exists at this point.
That's the worst thing about Ubisoft, is their formula. Just every game is just god awful. No, it's not that they're awful. If you had never played a Ubisoft game before, you jumped in and you played one, I'm sure you'd have a fine time. Then you go in and you just start seeing the patterns. And it just keeps appearing. It just keeps happening. And it's so dog. It's like buying a new Pokemon game and expecting it to be different. It's like, yeah, the first 2 or 3 games was pretty nice. And then it just kept happening. And happening. And happening. And now we are... how many decades since the first release, and it's barely changed, conceptually, at least. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough out there.
They can't even unintentionally say something agreeable. Even as their stock price plummets, fucking death spirals, they somehow dig deeper.
This is actually Ubisoft stock going down. I don't know what their symbol is. Ubisoft Entertainment Equity. Let's do this. Got it. I want year to date. Yeah, I mean, something pretty bad happened here. What was this? April? What happened in April? So they got fucked on hard in April. Minus 20% year to date. That's, oh god, 80%, 86 over 5 years. Not good. Not good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's where the formula started taking off right here. They said, oh, this is working. We're going to do this forever. And, yeah, we see where that went. All right, yeah, their stock is pretty fucked.
This is the equivalent to the captain of a sinking ship turning on all the sink faucets to try and fill it up with even more water as much as possible. I cannot understand it. Today, they've gone on quite the spree here, an entire montage of bad takes from Ubisoft, and I have to make fun of them again. I actually have to. Keep in mind, this company is so misguided. They released multiple NFT games only a year ago. And NFTs are dead and buried, and somehow Ubisoft is still...
God. NFTs, right. Who's the CEO? I don't think I've ever heard this guy's fucking name. Yves Guillemot? I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to be pronounced as. How long has he been CEO? Wait, hold on. This guy's been CEO since 1988? Wait, he was 28? Did he found Ubisoft? Yes. Co-founded. Okay, so he's French, no wonder. So it's probably like Guillemot. Yves Guillemot. I don't know French. Co-founded Ubisoft with his brothers Claude, Michel, Gerard, and Christian in 1986. Currently serves as the company's chairman and CEO. Okay. I see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I'm going to say he's probably part of the problem. That's just a wild accusation. I have nothing to back that, so I could be wrong. But the fact that he's been the CEO for how many years is that now? 33? No, 38, 37. Fuck. I think 37 years. And stock looking like that. Times change, buddy. I think you might be, overstaying your welcome. And the reason he's overstaying it is because, co-founded. Yeah, so. That's my opinion. Based on nothing.
Those puppies out. It's crazy how out of touch Ubisoft is. In order to prove that the stupid...
It could also be a situation where he has very little power and the, board or whatever, shareholders, have a lockdown in the company. I don't know how they're structured, so it could be not his fault.
The juice is still flowing deeply at Ubisoft headquarters to this day. Let's go ahead and show you their most recent annual financial report where they talk about their microtransactions and how microtransactions are actually a good thing because it allows their players to experience more fun. Very reminiscent of that time EA defended Battlefront controversial decisions by claiming that it was intended to give players a sense of pride and accomplishment. You can catch a slight whiff of that aroma here.
Battlefront
in the
was
Ubisoft
ridiculous.
Financial report with that statement. And I also can't help but giggle at the first line in their financial report where they try and claim that they're an industry leader in this sector.
Yeah,
what a load of fucking barnacles. Get a load of this guy. Maybe at one point in time they were, but these days they are just a public spittoon for people to walk by and hawk loogies on. They are a sad shell.
You're a
of their
big company,
self.
that's about it.
But this is all public. You can all read it yourself if you want to put your peepers on it. Down here is where you can find this statement. The adoption of monetization and engagement policies that respect the player experience and are sustainable in the long term at Ubisoft.
Okay, look, I think experience more fun, yeah, that's funny. But I think what's even more egregious is this line. Adoption of monetization and engagement policies that respect the player. I don't know that those exist, bro.
The golden rule when developing premium games is to allow players to enjoy the game in full without having
Yeah, they do exist.
Our monetization offer within premium games makes the player experience more fun by allowing them to personalize their avatars or progress more quickly. However, this is optional. How delusional can you be? It's not even like a good lie. The motivator for these microtransactions that they are ham-fisting into every single game of theirs for the last decade is solely driven by wanting to hose the consumer for more money beyond the initial purchase of the game.
Yeah.
Trying to squeeze some more coins out of the piggy banks of the players, hoping that some of the whales...
But, I mean, to be fair, also a large motivator for them making the game in the first place is to get money from consumers. But, yeah, microtransactions have the issue of possibly creating a worse initial product to sell additional product later for way out of hand prices, right? Like a character, like a skin for a character, a cosmetic, that costs a quarter of the game's price, right?
Will pay to maybe speed progress up, like they mentioned. And while, yes, it is optional, there is a little something called pay to win, and it is a very real thing. It's not some make-believe boogeyman. But even in cases where you're offering microtransactions in single-player games, which Ubisoft loves to do, that's not exactly something worth celebrating, because now you're devoting resources into trying to find ways to get more money out of this single-player game, when those resources could have been devoted to just making the game better in the first place. Something that Ubisoft...
I'm trying to think. Microtransactions, right? So that's not going to be like expansions, DLCs. Those aren't microtransactions. Those are just add-ons, additional transactions. I don't know exactly what you call it, but I'm trying to think if I've ever made a microtransaction in a single-player game. Because, I've pre-ordered single-player games for cosmetics, but that's not a microtransaction. I've gotten DLC, not a microtransaction. Have I? I don't think I have. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever even bought like a deluxe edition of a single player game. I've always been like multiplayer, World of Warcraft, shit like that.
Seems very against. Their games fall into the same formula and have been for so long now that people are beyond tired of it. And instead of trying to find ways to breathe new life into their titles, they instead try and find new ways of monetizing them through these microtransactions and shit. It's so tone deaf as well, and it shows very clearly that they don't even see player feedback, because every single Ubisoft game that comes out that is riddled, infected with microtransactions, like every Assassin's Creed now, you find collective sighs from even the most loyal supporters of the franchise. People aren't happy with it. And here they are just completely ignoring it and trying to...
Ubisoft titles, I feel like, are just like the FIFA type games of the world, right? Is it Madden? Does Madden still make games? I don't fucking know. Or like, are the Madden games still being made? I guess is what I want to say. Yeah, it's just like they just have to release a game and then people will buy them. Like, it's a brainless activity people do. Oh, Ubisoft released an Assassin's Creed. Let's buy it.
Spin it as a positive thing, like, oh, it's always optional. Like, it actually like goes over really well because, I mean, it's personalized fun, right? Who wouldn't want to pay for that? Am I right? But another thing that also came out here is Ubisoft's thoughts on the real reason Star Wars Outlaws flopped. They are blaming disinterest in the franchise, which, when it was reported that Outlaws was stumbling and not performing all that well, that was cope they used back then as well, like some whispers of it being like, oh, the IP is just not as strong as it...
Alright, what's it? I'm trying to remember. How do you get to the Google? Oh, it's trends, not analytics. Google Trends. Star Wars. Oh, fuck. Star Wars. Let's do 5 years. So, is the IP falling off? I think that's a definitive no. Yeah, it's gonna be a no from me, Ubisoft. Damn, Utah's really fucking killing it on Star Wars.
It once was. Now they're just coming out here with their whole chest saying, no, the reason Outlaws didn't do well is just because no one cares about Star Wars anymore. Which is fucking crazy. They are just refusing to take the L and come to terms with the fact that the reason Outlaws didn't do well is it's just not a good game. And it doesn't even have the decency of being like a laughably horrible game where it could be like entertaining in how shitty it is. It is just so boring. It is like the most safe, by-the-numbers, bland, sterile...
I've never seen anything from Star Wars Outlaws. I don't know if I've ever even seen an ad for it. When did it release? Look at his face. That's kind of intimidating. Feels really passionate about whatever he's saying right now. Hey. He's got a front tooth pushed back like I do. Look at that. I just now noticed.
Ubisoft, Ubislop game. It is the same generic, open-world Ubisoft experience that we have seen 1,000 times before, and clearly people are tired of. The only difference with this one is it had a Star Wars skin on it. and also some of the worst stealth you'll find. But outside of the worst stealth you'll find, everything else was just serviceable. And it didn't even try to do anything well. It was just content being mid. And Ubisoft has, for some reason, really struggled with accepting the fact that mid just doesn't really cut it anymore. People don't want more Ubisoft open world games. It's been done.
Yo, don't qualify it. Just say, people don't want more Ubisoft games. Done. To be honest, I don't remember the last Ubisoft game I played. Ubisoft titles. I mean, it's gonna be a ton of shit, but what's the last one I played? Bratz Formal Funk for PlayStation 2. Huge. Yeah, that looks gonna be too big. Yeah, I don't fucking remember.
A billion times the exact same way every time. It's tired and it's played out, and the sales show that with Star Wars Outlaws. It has nothing to do with the weakening of the IP, which is a real thing. Since going to Disney, it hasn't been as strong. A lot of the Disney shows have been super stinkers, but I think there is more evidence to the contrary that there is a hunger for good Star Wars, as demonstrated by Andor. I can't glaze Andor enough. I think that show is a masterpiece, and I think the reception and the absolute booming success of it speaks for that. People want good Star Wars. They're just not getting it often. Very rarely with something like Andor coming out. Star Wars Outlaws falls into the really uninteresting bucket of Star Wars that people just don't want to play with anymore. They don't want to touch, they don't want to indulge with. But there is still very much a lot of people wanting good Star Wars. It has nothing to do with the IP, with why Star Wars Outlaws flopped. But Goober is still trying to write it off as one of the contributing factors that the game suffered from a number of items. First, it suffered from the fact it was released at a time when the brand that it belonged to, was in a bit of choppy water, and then he acknowledges some technical problems, such as things missing polish, but they were polished and debugged early enough, but it had an effect.
Yeah, no. Ubisoft just kind of sucks. Whoa, is that me? That's crazy. If you can't tell, I watch a lot of VTubers. Bro, so this video reminded me. So this is a video about short selling. Apparently they invented not invented, but like they found a way to short sell inside of EVE Online. I heard about that. That was fucking hilarious. They're like short selling ore. It's crazy. I've been watching a lot of Mari clips lately. She's kind of based. Don't know what the fuck that is. Tastes her feet for $20. Bro. Like, that's YouTube. That's literally a video on YouTube, and I'm afraid of clicking that video on YouTube. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been watching Tyler play some Street Fighter. think he's been enjoying. He's been playing Guile lately. I was never much of a Guile guy. I just don't like charge characters. Not my thing. Space herpes. Bro, my feet kind of sucks right now. But I understand nothing about this fucking Death Stranding. Everything I see of that, yeah, I was just like, what is going on? Some weird shit. I mean, it looks like aesthetically, the game looks great. I think they did a great job. The facial expressions in the new one, like the emotion, like they really like really put some life into it. But, oof, story is a bit wild. Reviewing every leverless controller I could get my hands on. Alright, let's do it.
Okay, somebody asked what the best leverless controller is. I got great news for you. Today is the great leverless spelunking. Not only do we have a ton of leverless options to look at, I have one that I haven't even opened yet. That's how...
Bro, obviously, this guy has a better channel than I do. But, personally, don't blur the background. That shit hurts my fucking eyes. Bro, just show the background. You got it all decorated and shit. Why don't you want me to see it?
How many leverless options we got in this motherfucker? You guys ready? Hold on. A lot of people...
It's like whenever I'm on a Zoom call and people have the like automatic green screen, right? Without a green screen, it just blurs everything but you. But then like half doesn't work. It's just like that shit's more distracting than if you just showed me your background. And like if the only reason you use it is because your place is a mess, then just the act that you have it tells me that your shit's a mess. So what are you helping? Oh. That's just me.
People ask, hello streamer, I'm interested in purchasing a leverless controller.
Hold on. This guy seems familiar. I don't know what I feel like I've seen this guy do before. I don't know.
What leverless controller do I buy? If you're me, the answer is yes. Like, you know, I got a stack here, here, I got another one here, I got a hitbox.
Those are really thin.
Somewhere. So to start with, a lot of people...
I was gonna say that, you know, this is just buttons that I guess they can make thinner, but I've put buttons in. Buttons were like thicker than the joystick mechanism, but I guess you can get low profile buttons easier than you could get a low profile stick. And so, because you have no stick, you're just constrained by how thin you can make the buttons, and you make the whole thing thin.
People ask, like, hey, I'm new to fighting games. Do I need to get a stick? The answer is that all of them are fine. You can play on an arcade stick, you can play on a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever controller you want to play on. You can play on your keyboard, you can play on a leverless, which is basically like a keyboard but portable and good for tournament play and a little bit more durable.
God, that thing's so small.
If you're wondering why people compare this to a keyboard, this is left, down, right, and then this button down here is up. You could set your keyboard to be like ASD and then spacebar is up, and then that's very similar to this layout, right? Is there an advantage to having a leverless over a regular controller or an arcade stick? Is there an advantage to having an arcade stick over a regular controller? Honestly, not really. All of them are good at different things. I think a lot of people think arcade stick is the weakest of the peripherals. They actually think that Leverless controllers and regular controllers are better for a lot of modern games. The one thing that I think most people universally agree that arcade sticks are better at is like half circle or 720 motions in particular. Dragon Punch or Yukon motions from crouch I think feels really natural on stick, whereas a leverless controller, it feels way more natural to do charge moves because holding back and then hitting forward right here is really easy to do Sonic Boom, or like you hold down and then you go flash kick. It's really easy to play any game where the movement is primarily left and right, especially, and micro movement, like just walking around, is really good. These kinds of controllers are great, and all of them have things that are easier or harder depending on the
I can't get over how fucking small that thing is. Like, so like my fight stick, I have the Wrap 4, right? So compare that. Hey, my cat grew up. Let's go. Do we keep it out so it can overgrow? I'm good. So yeah, his is like less than half of this thing. And also, see how thick it is. Yeah, that's crazy.
And depending on the game and how it feels to you, they'll all take time to get used
to. I wouldn't want to use a controller that small. It would just feel too small on my lap. I want something I can beat the shit out of sometimes, you know?
This stuff. So if you're like, I play on controller, if I just had one of these newfangled leverless, I could just do X or Y really easy. The answer may be yes, that you could do some input easier, but you might struggle in some other way, right? Now that we've covered that, let's talk about leverless. Which one should you buy? I am holding this one because from my experience watching and going to tournaments, this is the most popular leverless controller on the market. Some
Okay. That's survivorship bias. Because you're going to tournaments, you're going to somewhere where someone's going to prefer a portable stick. So you take the tiny one that's portable. But I could be wrong. It's just a potential, you know, observation thing. Personally, I know I wouldn't prefer this one. Just because it's too small. I never tried it, but I'll tell you right now, it's going to be too small for my preference. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, we also don't need the Carblangy anymore. Dump that in there. We'll just put this with our fishing supplies. Which is that, I guess.
Of the snack box micro from junk food.
Oh, they make that's the snack box. I've heard of that.
Extremely portable. As you can tell, it's not that much bigger than my phone.
How much did he say it was?
Family-owned business. Extremely portable micro controller on the market. Some variation of the snack box micro from junk food. They make this. This is like a family-owned business. Extremely portable. As you can tell, it's not that much bigger than my phone. They're really, really popular. They don't come natively with PS5 support officially through Sony. The reason that is important is because PS5 is the primary tournament console if you're going to be playing fighting games offline. But there are options. There are like brick boards and stuff that support
I don't know if I'd call that affordable, my dude.
GP2040 option, but there's stuff like that, right? So this layout here, the 4 movement buttons,
and
then the 8
12 buttons for $200 almost.
A 12-button controller. Very common leverless layout. They make this in a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different sizes. They have like a bigger option as well.
I will say though, I would expect it to be a little more expensive to be that low profile and have nice buttons, but I wouldn't say that's affordable. I mean, it's not like a hitbox brand. It's like $400 for no fucking reason, but I think sticks are overpriced to begin with, but is what it is.
If you buy one that's not PS5 compatible, I think like the cheapest option is like $100 something, like maybe 120 or something. You can then later get an aftermarket converter. This is the snack box. This
like, think about it. Think about a PlayStation 5 controller. What goes into making a PlayStation 5 controller? And look at a fucking hitbox controller. One of those is infinitely simpler, more simple than the other. Okay? And one of those is also double the price of the other one. I'm just saying.
Is so popular. I have two other that are not the snack box that look quite similar. This is again 12 button controller, bigger jump button down here.
God, he
This
likes
is
the small
from
ones,
Granola
bro.
Arcade. Same thing with this controller. This controller is from Tesseract. You will notice there's an additional button here and there's an additional button here. So instead of the 12 button layout,
shits
this
bigger than
controller
that thing.
has 14. This is a 13 button layout, so there's an additional button so that if you want to play like WASD style, or you want to use an extra button here by your hands, this is a really common option that people are doing these days.
That'd be a fun dash
this is
button,
the Hypercube
maybe.
right here. Really like this thing. It's really nice. This is the Raindrop. Neither, again, are PS5 compatible by default. You can purchase them with Brooks boards or things inside that will make them work with PS5. But by doing that, you're dealing with the native firmware inside, so they have to update every time there's an update for the PS5. You need to go and plug this bad boy into your PC and then get it updated and stuff like that. This controller and another controller I'm about to show you has a new fancy pass-through device. You'll notice there's a USB on the side here. This is the GP2040. So you basically take this thing, you update all the firmware in it, and then you can plug in a like $20 Brook Wingman, I think is what it's called, or the Mayflash something or other. Scoop up a $20 converter right here. It's PS5 compatible. Really nice for controllers that have this functionality. This GP2040 has a lot of other things too. It allows you to change the SOCD, which is very important if you don't know what SOCD is. This is simultaneous opposing cardinal directions or opposite cardinal directions SOCD. Unlike an arcade stick, I can't hold left and right at the same time because the joystick only moves one way. Some controllers, when you hold left and right at the same time, it's neutral. Some is the last input you hit. Same thing, up and down can equal neutral or up or whatever. The devices that have GP2040 in them have really easy SOCD settings that you can set. The option I'm going to show you next, this hot option, it's really nice. It's similar to the Razer Kitsune if you're familiar with that. It's about $77 shipped to my house. This also has the GP.
See, that's a little more affordable. 77.
There it is. Plug in a USB dongle here. So these are really cheap if you're looking for a leverless option in the budget category. A lot of the things I've shown are in that range from like 100 to 150 bucks. This is the T13. It has 13 buttons. You can also get the T16. It has 16 buttons. They have a smaller size one, so they have an option that's similar to this. They also have a metal option as well if you're interested in that. So something bigger. Just do note the difference in size for portability.
Yeah.
Personally, I like this size of a controller.
Then why do you have so many tiny ass motherfuckers, huh? You had me thinking that you were like a fan of the tiny ones.
Why I prefer this, and it's why I prefer the following controller. This is like probably my favorite for size and feel. This is the M-Press. This is the Evo edition. You can tell who sells it because it says it right there.
Aesthetically, I don't like it, but like layout-wise, that's pretty nice looking layout.
Weights on the inside, SOCD and LED settings in it. This thing is
like a
extremely
12-button
heavy compared to a lot of them other models, so it doesn't move in your lap.
I mean, it's a 18.
Big fan
but
of this bad boy. Big
all the extra ones are all lined at the top.
For lap feel. Finally, if you're a tournament player, you want something that works natively on PS5. To my knowledge, there are two options that are licensed PlayStation 5 options in the leverless market. More expensive than the other options by a lot. And part of that reason, I'm assuming, is because of the native PlayStation 5 functionality. So you don't have to do any aftermarket stuff and hope that it doesn't break in a tournament. This is the controller you guys know I've been using.
Yeah.
Very similar to some of the other controllers I've shown in size and layout and stuff. The Razer Kitsune. It is $300. Really nice controller. Big fan of it. Does not have
$300 fucking dollars for 12 buttons and the Razer logo. Dear fucking God. Fighting game players, you are getting your asses gaped. Bro. Straight up.
adjustable SOCDs. Natively works on PS5. I don't own the Victrix leverless. The Victrix leverless is very similar to the shape and the body of the Victrix arcade stick. It is $400, I believe. This works on PC and natively on PS5 as well. It also has LED if you care about that. A bunch of the junk food options have LEDs as well. Yeah, it's got a little non-slip guy on the back here, little mats to rest so it doesn't slide around on your lap. It also has a little locking mechanism up here, and you put your cable in and then you relatch it. Boom, little tab there that you can lock in. Non-adjustable SOCD, which is important if you want to SOCD a way that it's different from how Street Fighter is. They've said that they're going to have a way to adjust SOCD at some point, but right now it does not adjust. Yeah, this thing leaves handprints a lot. For reference, every single controller I've shown you, I have been sent, except this, because it was $77 and I didn't even know who to contact to get, so I just bought one. Every other controller I've been sent, they've offered me a leverless at some point in my life or other. Like the Evo one is like many years old or whatever. Some of them have extra buttons and stuff. Razer has like optical switches that are like super fancy.
This guy play Karen in SF5? Was he a Karen main? Maybe that's where I know him from.
And have low response time. These kinds of things exist, right? But generally, these controllers are functionally the same. When you are playing a match of the video game against someone else, they're all the same controller, right? Like they all do the same thing in game. Performance and stuff, that's not going to be a big factor. Really, there's a few categories. The categories to me about controllers are size. This is a mid-size option. This kind of size I strongly prefer. So when your hands are up here, you have a lot of space. Rest or float your hands and move around and stuff, very comfortable. Do you want something like this? If I was gonna head out to outside my house to play video games, I'd probably want a controller of this size. If you dress like you're from the Midwest and you have gigantic cargo pants, you might be able to fit this in your pocket. After that, do you want to buy something that natively works on PlayStation 5? Are you cool with using a pass-through device? If you're going to a tournament and like Sony does an update on the PS5 and your firmware doesn't work, that is a possibility. However, you know, it is a much cheaper investment. The other factor is additional buttons. So this has one additional button up here. This is the standard 12 button layout. This is a 14 button layout. Many games now have macros or things you would want to hit, and having an additional button means that your hands, while resting on the controller, you know, you're resting your hands on the movement buttons. Moving to hit this is very easy, and you can map this to drive impact in Street Fighter or parry or something. And yes, additional buttons on your controller are tournament legal as long as there's not overlapping in inputs or things or macros or things like that that you can't have. If you map multiple of the same command on a controller and stuff like that, kind of stuff is not allowed. There's rule sets for tournaments, but generally having extra buttons is fine as long as you follow the tournament rules, which are usually pretty clear about what you can and can't have. The Daigo layout is a 16 button controller, I believe. Like he's got extra buttons in all of these spaces. For me, I don't use any of that, but maybe I should. I don't know. I usually don't even use.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be pretty easy to jump in and produce those for fucking cheap. Maybe I'm wrong. Sagat. Bro, I kind of watched some videos on Guilty Gear lore. That shit sucks. Guilty Gear lore fucking sucks. I mean, like, I'm into it. It's fun. But it does suck. And the names of some of this stuff, too. It's just like, it's a bit cringe. The Steam censorships are insane. Valve confirms credit card companies pressured to delete certain adult games from Steam. Hey, I mean, when you get made their bitch, stuff like that happens. Top 5 leverless mistakes. They're just buttons, bro. What mistake are you making? You just hit the buttons. Like, it's simpler than a fucking... It's simpler than an N64 controller. Yeah, this fucking face. Ooh, we're almost to 130. That's the halfway point, boys. Season 4, biking. Biking. Oh, God. What time is it? Fucking 2:30? Yeah, I wanted to... No, guys. I wanted to get to at least halfway before I went to bed so that I could get on tomorrow and do the last half. And be fucking done with it. I mean, not done with agility, right? But, like, done with having to do rooftops. Like, after this, I could go do, like, the worm course or whatever. So I do want to get the graceful recolor from the worm course. And then, yeah, just do other shit. Like getting 2 more fishing levels so we can get barbarian fishing and do temporos with barbarian fishing. So we get some free agi and strength while we grind our fishing to like 81 or something. Just get tons of permits and then open them all at 81. So I think that's when you get the best fish loot, I think. Like sharks and shit. I don't know. All I know is that my feed sucks, and it's 2:30, and I'm halfway there. So I think we're gonna call it there. But W, tomorrow we will get the last half, and we'll be graced out of our goddamn mind. So thank you for hanging out, and I'll be around maybe tomorrow.